Hello everyone, this is Oboleraski from Generation 3 and 4. Today I'm going to showcase my take on breeding. There's a lot of guides out there, but I just wanted to show you the method that I personally think is the best. So, just some little knowledge before we get to the actual important part of the video. Basically, this method works by abusing the fact that eggs once generated maintain the same nature, maintain the same gender, and maintain the same ability. This is the key focus on the method. Therefore, whenever I pick up an egg, I get to reset it and see if it has good enough IVs for me to take and keep. So basically what I am doing now is trying to get an adamant Nidoking. This is a little bit of a complicated process because you are going to need a female Nidoran to do this, not a male Nidoran. One small piece of trivia for you. Basically, if you try to breed a male Nidoran with Ditto, it will always give male Nidoran as an offspring, but if you try to breed a female Nidoran with Ditto, it will give either female or male Nidoran. So this is a little bit of an interesting things. It also works for Volbeat and Illumise in the same way. The only difference is that Nidorina and Nidoqueen cannot breed, only Nidoran can. So try to keep it that way. Basically what I've done right now is the following. I've left in the Daker an Adamant Ditto. It has maximum attack and speed IVs and a random female Nidoran I found, which has quiet nature and 31 attack IVs. This was completely random Nidoran, a good random Nidoran because it has a maximum IVs in one stat. And what I've done now is I've cycled around for a while, hatching several eggs. Once I found a female Nidoran with an adamant nature, I just stopped. The egg I'm going to pick up now is going to be female and adamant and has the poison point ability because, of course, Nidoran only has poison point in Gen 3. But there's a 50% chance that it's either male or female and a 50% chance it's either adamant because my Ditto is adamant nature and is holding the Neverstone, so it has the 50% chance to pass it down, or any other nature. So basically, as you can already tell, you have a 25% chance to get the egg you want in this specific scenario. So basically, the reason why picking up the egg without checking it first is not ideal is that you're just going to have a lot of eggs with perhaps good IVs, but bad nature and bad gender. In this case, the gender is very relevant because female Nidoran and male Nidoran are two completely different Pokemon. I've cycled around, I've gathered about 10 eggs, I believe, and none of them was what I was looking for until the 11th was the correct Nidoran. So what I'm doing right now is just going to reset until I found one that has high enough IVs for me to for me to get and take and keep. So I'll just head to the house and release the other Nidoran that's left in my party. The other way that the other tool that helps me in this method is the special IV check for Emerald, which I'm not going to distribute in this video, but you are free to message me and I will see what I can do to find it for you as well. So I'm going to save again, and what we are going to do now is just resetting until I find good IVs. For example, I'm going to take this egg. I already know that the nature and gender are correct, but I don't know the IVs. In this case, it's 31 attack and 28 speed. This is not bad to start off, but I believe we can perfect it a little bit more. So I'm going to speed up the process, quite literally, and reset until I get the desired needle run of mine. This has even worse IVs, so it's not worth keeping. Alright, this seems to be good enough, at least for now. I will be hatching this egg, and then I'll see you later. Alright, I'm hatching the egg right now. It's, as I've mentioned before, a female Nidoran with adamant nature. I know this because I've already reset the egg in the past, so I know it's the correct nature and gender. Here it is, adamant, poison point. The stats are irrelevant for the moment, but let's check the AVs. It's the same egg I've shown before. Alright, so once you... I'm going to also take this egg real quick because otherwise I can't move on to phase 2. Once you get the nature you desire on the female Pokemon of choice, you're going to do a different method. I'll just retrieve the Nidoran and the data I've used before. Alright, here they are. And you can see here, it's just a random Nidoran and a good detail. So, now that I have an Adamant and almost 3 IV Pokemon, it's just doable and reasonable to breed with other Pokemon. So I'm going to need a male Pokemon of the same egg group. If I recall correctly, Nidorans should be in the field egg group. So I'll just get a Pokemon of the field egg group that is also male. This is very important. So this is the one I'm needing, and this is the old one, which I will just release because I don't need anymore. So field, I have this Typhlosion, this should do it. Taurus, perhaps not, because it's HP Ice. I'm going to need this Typhlosion here. For the IVs, it has 31 HP, 31 speed, 31 special attack, 30 attack, and the defenses, well, they're not perfect, but they're high enough for this phase. I'll just deposit the female Nidoran and give it the Everstone. This is very important because otherwise resetting for the correct nature will be hell. Once this is done, I'll just give these to the lady. And then I will just keep biking until I get an egg that I want. I'm going to speed up a bit. This is the tedious part of the process. The biking and the cycling takes a lot of time. But if you're an emulator, I recommend to speed up, otherwise you will have to wait a little bit of time. But once this is done, the resetting becomes really quick, honestly. You've seen it before, it doesn't take that much time. So the egg has been generated. I do not know anything about this egg, at least I won't until I hatch it. So I save my game, I gather the egg, I do not even bother checking the IVs, because this may not be the one I'm looking for. I do not even bother picking up another egg, because at the moment I just want to check if this is already the correct egg. And if it's not, I will take another one, hatch it again, and then verify it has everything I need. Hopefully I get it on the first try, but it's a 25% chance. because it can either be male or female 50% and adamant or not 50%. I'm also looking for another adamant female Nidoran so that I can keep improving my already existing Nidoran IVs. My goal in this phase is to get at least four IVs or three IVs on either parents. So we're not going to check female Nidoran, and the nature is mild. So this egg is no good. I'm just going to save again, get another egg, and see if this is the correct one. I will make a brief cut. I will be here again once I found the egg that I'm looking for. So I'm back. I have generated a Nidorina egg with, Nidoran female egg with the adamant nature. I will now pick it up and then continue to check the IVs until I find what I need. This is a little bit too low for me, so I'll just keep resetting. Remember that at this moment the IVs of the two parents are already pretty high, but we want them as high as possible to move on the following step of the process. So what I'm looking for specifically is maximum attack, maximum speed, and most importantly, maximum special attack. Once I have all these three, I can just move on the following. Because in this way I can guarantee that the egg I will be generating next has the maximum possibility to generate the 3 IVs I mentioned before, and also I will try to get the other IVs like defense, special defense and HP as high as possible. So I'll just keep reset until I get what I need. As you can see, every time you get a different one, but remember that you have the chance to get the same one because of Emerald Broken Energy. So don't give up, just keep going. You will get it eventually. This is a kind of a tedious process. Oh, I can't talk today, sorry. This is kind of a tedious process because it can really take a lot of time. In this moment I'm speeding it up just for the sake of the video, but usually get a competitive Pokemon takes a lot of time. There are ones that are a little bit different from the others, specifically the only male ones or the genderless ones, because you just cannot get this method going with the same egg group, so you just always gotta do with Ditto, and it's really not the same thing, because as I mentioned before, you cannot improve your Ditto's IVs because you cannot breed them. The most important part of this idea, this concept, and this method is that the more you do it, the better Pokemon you will have to use in the future, and then you gradually shorten the time for all the following breedings, because this way you will keep always improving your egg group's parent until you have really high IVs one. For example, I've managed with this method to get several maximum IVs Pokemon, or almost maximum IVs. For example, this one is worth keeping, but I'm not going to because I'm looking for also special attack. Anyway, I was mentioning that I've managed to get almost Pokemon with maximum IVs. I found 5 IVs once, and they are just worth keeping, obviously, even if their nature is not correct. because that way you can just shorten your time by a lot with the other Pokemon. Because obviously, while this method is kind of random, the chance to get better IVs every time improve the more you have high IVs on your other Pokemon. For example, I'm using this Typhlosion at the moment, and because it has high IVs, you will see a lot of 31 IVs around, scattered around like that. This is almost perfect, but I'm going to need maximum attack as well, especially because my Typhlosion doesn't have maximum attack, so that's imperative to get. I'm just going to keep going until I find a good one. I will lay a timestamp on the video, and feel free to skip to it if this gets a little bit too tedious. Okay, so I think I can keep this, even though it doesn't have maximum special attack. This is just stupid to throw out. I will be hatching this egg and then use it to breed a male Nidoran this time. This has almost 5 maximum IVs, so this is plenty, honestly, to work with. So I'll just be hatching this real quick. As I've mentioned, I've already confirmed that it has adamant nature and it's female. So once I've had 2 reasonable parents, like with EVs high enough to work with, I can just get to the final part and get the actual Pokemon I want. So as you've seen, I've bred a total of 3, actually 2, um, intermediate parents. Excuse my wording, but that's the best way I can think about it. Like, they are temporary, they'll just serve one purpose specifically, and then I just move on to get a better one with higher stats, so that I always keep improving my chances to get the Pokemon I want. That's what make this method like really doable in my process. Again, I just get the egg, I don't even bother checking it because I know it may not be the one I'm looking for. I'll just get the other male female Nidoran and then just throw this away and start breeding with this one. It's this. It has maximum HP, so it has to be this. Just slow down. I'm going to use the Everstone. Alright. So now that this is done, I'll just remove the other Nidoran I'm not going to be needing. Alright, now I will reset for male Nidoran with Adamant Nature. And once I get that, I'll see you again. Alright, I'm back. I've managed to get a male Nidoran egg with Adamant Nature. It took me about 7 eggs to get one. So now I will be resetting this continuously until I find the stats I need. As I've mentioned before, I'm going for specifically max attack, max speed, and max special attack. The other IVs are the highest I can get. For example, this is pretty good. I think, yeah, like, okay. I don't think I need maximum attack. I'll just keep this as it is. It's honestly way too good to throw out. So, consider this completed. I will now hatch the egg and get the Nidoran. So yeah, the process is over. It took me about 1 hour to do all of this, which is extremely fast if you consider that usually breeding in Emerald takes like 12 hours or so to get one decent egg. And honestly, while this may not be top tier or ideal for competitive because it doesn't have 31 IVs in all stats, this is quite frankly pretty good. Like, I think we can all agree on this. So I'll just hatch the egg now, and then what's left to do is just EV training and nothing more. So to recap, what's extremely fast about this is that the egg group method just gets you higher and higher IVs, and quite frankly the IV checking makes this extremely simple, because otherwise always checking the same egg, I mean always hatching the egg before you can check it is just way too time consuming. But yeah, this is a like competitive worthy. It may not be super ideal, but I mean this is as good as you can get an egg through regular means. No ace, no RNG, no nothing, just simple emerald. Simple emerald stuff, just the IV checking, which I mean it could be a turn off for some people who are purists and don't use ROMs or emulator, which I get. But I think that at the end of the day, playing a several years old game can be just adjusted with some tiny quantity of life. This ROM is also very special because it doesn't break compatibility with other ROMs, with editing programs, which you may need for a little bit more of invasive operations like PK hacks, or just the triggers PC, which is a save management program. And yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Like, this is a good Nidoran. I will be training this for sure. I will now think if I also want a Jolly Nidoran, because that may be ideal. But for the moment, this is just good enough for me. So I will now proceed to EV trainings, and this should be all. I'll save it so that Nidoran is mine forever, and this is all. This was about 2 hours in game, and about 1 hour, 1 hour of time for me. So this is all. If you have any question, feel free to ask me in the comments or directly in the Discord if you're in. And yeah, this is all. You can use this for pretty much any Pokemon aside from genderless ones. For genderless ones, you can just use Ditto for breeding, but you can always do the reset part. So this will be it for this time. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye bye.